about 10 games or so in now, it will be a really good time to check in on sort of what's been going on in the leagues around Europe, the big storylines, who's doing well, who's not doing well, what players are doing well, etc. Because of course the channel is quite Premier League focused. I wanted to sort of do a deep dive into Europe, so we're going to dive into the top 5 leagues and the EFL in depth, and then we'll also touch on some of the other leagues as well. And we are also going to talk about the Europa League and Europa Conference League, because I realised as well I haven't really spoken about them yet, but there's been some interesting stuff going on, so yeah, should be a chill one just to see, sort of catch up on what's happened in the world of football, I guess. Now we'll begin in the Europa League then. So the Europa League, there has been 4 games played, and there is a very surprising team at the top here. The only team in the Europa League to win all 4 games is actually FC Midtjylland from Denmark, right? Yeah, Denmark. So they've won all 4 games, which is absolutely sensational. They beat Forest away from home, they beat Sturm Graz, they beat Maccabi Tel Aviv, and then they beat Celtic. So, I mean, they've come up against decent opposition. It's not been like the elite sides in the Europa League, but hey, fair play, and what a great campaign they're having so far. And I will say, actually, Europa League, so far, obviously it's still sort of early days, but a lot of sort of the teams that you would expect to do really well aren't necessarily doing that well, and a couple sort of teams outsiders are doing quite well, such as Ferencvaros are here in 3rd. They are unbeaten right now. You know, these sorts of teams like Villa and Lyon are doing okay, but they've both lost games. Villa lost to Go Ahead Eagles, which was a big shock, and Lyon lost to Betis. But yeah, I mean, there's some like sort of maybe unexpected guys, Victoria Pleasurable, who are doing quite well. And you got sort of teams like Porto and Fenerbahce, who a lot of people would have probably expected would be one of the favourites to win this. Have been a bit inconsistent. Porto lost to Forest and then drew to Utrecht. Fenerbahce drew to Victoria Pleasant and lost to Dinamo Zagreb. Roma are down in 18th. They've won 2, lost to Lille are also down there as well. So against Stuttgart as well down here. Forest and Bologna are 23rd and 24th. So like I said, sort of these teams who you maybe would expect to do well aren't doing well. Celtic, Salzburg, Feyenoord are down here. All of them with just 1 win so far. And then Rangers and Nice are actually the only 2 teams to lose all 4 games. They are having a torrid time, both of them, right now. But yeah, I mean, Europa League actually, obviously it's still a league phase, so when we get to the knockout stages, we'll see what happens. But who knows, maybe we could potentially see a bit of a shock, maybe a team who, a bit of a smaller club, could do something in the Europa League, because it's really anyone's to play for right now, with all of these sort of traditional guys not doing amazing. And in terms of player stats, currently Anas Zuri for Panathinaikos is the top goal scorer. Ricardo Horta has the most assists, and Jean Shaqiri actually has the most GA. Right, and over in the Conference League, it's kind of similar story actually. A bit of unexpected guys doing well. So each team has played 3 games, and 3 sides have won all 3 games. Mainz, Engels, Selj, and Samson Spor. So, I mean, besides Mainz, you know, these 2 are a bit unexpected. And also shout out to Larnaca, who are currently unbeaten and actually beat Crystal Palace away from home, which is an incredible result. But these also guys, Shakhtar, Palace, Fiorentina, Strasbourg, Vallecano, they're probably the favourites for the competition. I mean, they've all done okay, but they have slipped up in a couple games. So again, it's sort AZ Alkmaar, Dynamo Kiev, Legia Warsaw, teams who have been in the Champions League recently, like Slovan Bratislava, have lost all 3 games. So really open in the Europa Conference League right now, and the top goal scorer is Franko Kovacic for Selj. Okay, so that was the Conference League. We're going to go to the EFL now. So the EFL has, well, the Championship in particular has been absolutely mental this year, I must say, and is shaping up to be one of the most fun seasons in the Championship in a long time, because we've got a runaway leader here in Coventry who are just absolutely sensational right now. They've only lost 1 game all season, that being against Wrexham. Obviously under Frank Lampard, they sit top of the table, 5 points clear of second place. They've been a fantastic start. They've already scored 40 goals in 15 games. They are flying, which is really nice to see. Lampard doing well as a manager, of course, but it's still early days. A lot can happen in the Championship, as we know, but so far it does look like Coventry are the favourites to go up. But the rest of the league, I mean, you look at this top 6 here and it's pretty unexpected. Middlesbrough, Stoke, Preston, Hull and Millwall. Typically in the last few years, those sorts of teams who recently get relegated obviously have a lot of money, so they tend to dominate the Championship, but feels like this year could be the year where none of those relegated sides bounce straight back up, and then we might have 3 teams who haven't been in the league for a while, which is really cool to see. Now Middlesbrough, obviously there's been a bit of controversy there, so they were managed by Rob Edwards, who joined in the summer, did very well, got them to 2nd, but then obviously has jumped ship to Wolves, and yeah, the fans weren't too happy to say the least, so I don't know who they're going to appoint, and if they can maintain this form without Edwards, but yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Ipswich are sort of catching fire a little bit now. They start the season off poor, but last few results have been good. But you can see here Leicester in mid-table here in 12th. Southampton down in 17th. They sacked their manager as well, Will Still. Sheffield United are down in 22nd right now. They are an absolute mess. They sacked Chris Wilder at the start of the season, appointed someone else, sacked him, and then reappointed Chris Wilder, but he hasn't been able to turn it around, and they're looking real bad. Norwich as well, down in 23rd, recently sacked their manager, so you can see a lot of sort of those traditional big boys in the Championship aren't necessarily doing amazing, which is making it so entertaining. And of course Sheffield Wednesday are on -4 points. They are absolutely cooked because of what's happening with that ownership. I think they went into administration. Right, so the best team at home is Coventry, who haven't lost a game at home. Interestingly, Watford actually have the 2nd best home record in the league. Coventry have the best away record as well. Now Derby are on the best form. They've won 5 in a row. If only Man United could do that. And the XG table actually does have Coventry top, but Ipswich and Birmingham, and then Blackburn is the top 4, which is pretty interesting. And Southampton actually in the top 6 there. Looking at the player stats, Brandon Thomas Asante and Golden Morris are joint top goal scorers with 10 apiece. Ryan Giles has the most assists with 6, and Brandon Thomas Asante has the most GA with 13. Okay, next up we have League One, and again, League One is really interesting. A lot of those traditional bigger sides you would expect to dominate this league haven't necessarily done so, and we could be in for a couple shocks in terms of promotion. So Stockport are currently top, but you look in the top 6 and you've got Bradford, Bolton, Cardiff, Stevenage, Lincoln, Wimbledon, Mansfield in here. Jack Wilshere, the former Arsenal manager who has been appointed their manager recently, and is looking to guide them to promotion, but they haven't made a great start to the campaign. But yeah, it's pretty open again, League One, and down at the bottom, a massive shock here. Plymouth are rock bottom of the league, potentially could be on for back-to-back relegations, which would be very, very bad. Right, the best home team is Bolton, and the best away team is Stockport. The most informed team is actually Rotherham, who have won 4 of their last 5 games. The XG table has Bolton in first, and actually Port Vale in third, which is pretty interesting. And looking at player stats, 3 players here joined top goal scorers right now. Amari Gozia Dubry has the most assists and the most GA. Okay, and on to League 2, there's actually a game going on right now between Notts County and Cheltenham, which Notts County are winning, but yeah, League 2, there's not really any runaway winners right now. It's a very even league. No one's sort of pulling away. I mean, look at this. Like, the gap between Walsall and 13th place Fleetwood is only 7 points, so literally anyone, it's all to play for here. All the teams have shown a bit of weakness, all teams have shown a bit of strength, so honestly anyone's to play for at the top. And at the bottom, Newport, Shrewsbury could potentially be on for back-to-back relegations. Right, the best team at home this season is Swindon. The best team away is MK Dons. The most informed team is MK. The XG table has Grimsby top and Barnet second. And the top goal scorer is Aaron Drinham with 10. Mitchell Pinnock has the most assists with 5, and Aaron Dinnan has the most GA. Okay, we move on to La Liga now. So, in terms of La Liga, we look like we have a pretty good title race here between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Both teams have, of course, as you would expect, made a pretty strong start to the season. Real Madrid are currently top of the table, 3 points clear, going into the international break. But they did draw their last game against Vallecano. But that being said, Xabi Alonso has made a really good start to life in Madrid. They've only dropped points in that Vallecano game, and then against Atletico Madrid, which was quite a bad loss. They lost like 5-2, but overall in the league they've looked pretty solid. Defensively have been really good too. Barcelona, they've slipped up in a couple games. They lost against Sevilla, and they lost against Madrid, of course, in El Clasico. But you know, they still have the quality to easily beat teams, and as you would expect, score a bunch of goals and are going to be right hot on the tails of Real Madrid. Don't also rule out Atleti, who are starting to catch fire. They started off the season really, really bad, but 4 wins in a row now in the league. They are starting to heat up, and who knows, potentially could make a 3-horse race. Shout out to Villarreal as well, who are currently in second place. They have won 3 in a row recently, and are looking really good defensively. Betis are in 5th. Espanyol are having a fantastic season here, up in 6th. Athletic Club are not having a fantastic season. They have really struggled. They were fantastic last year, but it's been a really bad start to this season, down in 7th spot. And then lower down the table, Real Sociedad have continued their struggles. They've been really poor. Valencia, again, a lot of struggles there. They haven't won in their last 5 games and are down in 17th. Girona, though, yeah, things are looking quite rough. They did manage to get a good win in their last game, but they're in real danger here of potentially getting relegated, because they have been poor. Okay, the best team at home this season is actually Atletico Madrid. The best team away is Real Madrid. The most informed team is Real Madrid, and the XG table actually has it Real Madrid top and Barca second, which, yeah, it's interesting. Now, terms of the stats, Kylian Mbappe has absolutely popped off this season. 13 goals this season already in, 13 in how many games played? 12 games played. Absolutely ridiculous. Julian Alvarez is doing pretty well though as well. 9 GAs so far this season. And also shout out to Lewandowski, who is still bagging in the goals. Marcus Rashford as well is actually the top assister in La Liga with 6 assists right now. He's of course done really well since joining Barca. And also shout out to Ete Ayong, who has 9 GAs so far this season. He's been really good for a Paul Levante side. Looking at some of the other stats then, Arda Güler has the second most expected assists. Ferran Torres has the most big chances missed. Clean sheets, Luis Jr. for Villarreal and Thibaut Courtois are tied there. XG prevented is actually the route of the keeper with 6 XG prevented. Okay, over to the Bundesliga now, and well, it does look like we're probably not going to get a great title race here, as Bayern Munich are looking unstoppable right now. Unbeaten start to the season, 9 wins from 10 games to start the campaign. They are looking incredible, only dropping points in their last game against Union Berlin. Yeah, they look absolutely terrific. They are absolutely putting teams to the source. 35 goals scored in 10 games, over 3 goals per game they're averaging. They look absolutely incredible, and it's tough to see anyone stopping them. Particularly when sort of the chasing back are, they're doing okay, but none of them are really standing out right now. Leipzig are currently in second, doing better, of course, this season than they did in recent years. And then Dortmund, Stuttgart, Leverkusen, they're all just a little bit inconsistent, so I do think Bayern are going to romp to this league title fairly comfortably, but the top 4 race should be really interesting between these guys. And also Hoffenheim and Frankfurt. Shout out to Cologne as well, who are having a fantastic season back in the Bundesliga here. Heidenheim only have 1 win, and so do Mainz. Mainz, really bad season. I don't know what it is, but it's like the European curse in the Bundesliga. Whenever a team like overachieves and gets Europe in the Bundesliga, they always collapse the next season. Last year it was actually Heidenheim who qualified for Europe and then collapsed in the league. The year before it was Union Berlin who qualified for Europe, collapsed in the league. Even kind of Stuttgart last season did it as well. And it felt like it's Mainz here. They are doing great in the Conference League, but they have only won 1 game all season in the Bundesliga. Right, the best team at home is Bayern Munich and also Stuttgart, who have won all of their home games this season. Best team away, interestingly, is actually Hoffenheim and Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are the most informed team, and the XG did was Bayern top, of course, with Leverkusen in second. The stats then, of course, Harry Kane has absolutely popped off like Mbappe, 13 goals as well in 10 league games. He is on fire. And yeah, I mean, who knows, maybe he could break that Lewandowski 40-goal record. Most assists is Faris Jarbi for Eintracht Frankfurt. Also Vlad Kufal, I did not know you played for Hoffenheim, is up there. Harry Kane 16 GA. Luis Diaz has 10 GA though as well. He's been really good since joining. We look at some of the other stats. Elise has the most expected assists there. Ransford, I'm not even going to try this. Kinsgorst, yeah, someone help me with that one. And then Gregor Kobus, the most clean sheets with 6, and most goals prevented is Marvin Schwab for Cologne. Okay, moving on to Serie A now. Serie A does actually look like it's going to have a title race is going to have an incredible one, because right now it is anybody's to play for here. And we are generally 5 teams in the title race right now. Only 3 points separate 5th spot Bologna from first place Inter. Inter, Roma, Milan, Napoli look like the 4 who will go for it. But then, don't rule out at this stage a Bologna or a Juventus potentially. So, I mean, all of them are not incredible, but yeah, it looks like we're going to have a fantastic title race on our hands in Serie A. Inter are starting to heat up though, 3 wins in the last 3. Napoli as well are starting to slow down a little bit. They've had a lot of injuries with De Bruyne, Lukaku, McTominay's had some as well, Højlund, but they've not been great this season. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it could be anyone's to play for right now. Shout out to Bologna as well, because they lost quite a few players in the summer, but they are still going strong and look really good this season, so well done to them. Juve are still a mess. They sacked their manager Igor Tudor. They've appointed Spalletti, who you might remember was the manager who won the league with Napoli when they had Osimhen and Guevara. So who knows, maybe he can get an uplift with them and they might be able to challenge for that league title. Como as well are doing really, really well under Fabregas. Atalanta though are doing absolutely awful. Only won 2 games this season. Gasperini of course left for Roma, where he's doing great. They hired Ivan Juric, who you might remember last season at Southampton. It was a weird appointment and it's really not worked out as expected. He has been sacked. Genoa as well also sacked their manager. They had Patrick Vieira and they've sacked him for Daniel De Rossi, which is pretty cool. So yeah, and you might be shocked here to see Fiorentina are rock bottom of Serie A. 0 wins all season. It's been an absolute disaster. They hired Stefano Pioli at the start of the season. Didn't win a single game. They recently sacked him. Now it's been awful. I think the directors of football and all that have left, and yeah, it's an absolute mess. Right, the best team at home is Inter, and the best team away is Roma. The most informed team is Inter, and the XG table does have Inter top, or Atalanta in terms of XGR in 4th. The top goal scorer is Hakan and Orsolini. The most assists is DeMarco, and most GA is Nico Paz, who has been absolutely sensational with 8 GAs so far this season. And then looking at some other stats, Gift Orban has the most big chances missed. Mios Vila, who has been incredible for Roma, has the most clean sheets. Him and Provedel actually have been fantastic here with lots of XG prevented and a bunch of clean sheets. So, yeah. Okay, over to France, Ligue 1, and again it looks like we might actually have a title race on our hands here. So PSG are top of the league, but only just. They are 2 points ahead of Marseille and Lens in 2nd and 3rd, and PSG have shown some real cracks early on in the season in terms of they've dropped quite a few points, they've drawn 3 games, they've lost a game to Marseille. A lot of their games have sort of relied on late winners. For example, in the last game against Lyon, they got a 96-minute winner. So, they can be got at here, and I think maybe this season they're not going to walk to the league. They're actually going to have some competition here, which is good to see, because Marseille look really good right now in the league. They're doing fantastic. Lens as well, shout out to them, currently in 3rd spot, 2 points away from the top, doing fantastic. But even a team like Strasbourg, who knows, could potentially put up a fight. Monaco haven't been great this season. They sacked their manager, and they haven't really had too much of an uplift since he's gone. Nice haven't been great either, of course, doing very bad in the Europa League as we saw it earlier. best team at home is actually Marseille, and you see here PSG actually have the 5th best home record, but they have the best away record. The most informed team is actually Lens, who have won 4 of their last 5, and the XG table does have it as it is there. With Lens on the XG table are 7th, so maybe that position they might not be able to maintain it. Okay, looking at the stats, so Joachim Panicelli has had a bit of a breakout campaign for Strasbourg. He's got 9 goals and is the top goal scorer in the league right now. And also Esteban Lapoule, again a bit of a breakout campaign for Rennes. He's got 8. Vitinha has 6 assists already, which is fantastic. And well, Mason Greenwood actually has the most GA this season with 11. I mean, I hate to break it, but Greenwood is actually doing very, very well, and is a large reason why Marseille are in the title race right now. Looking at some of the other stats, so big chances missed. Panicelli actually is up there with 7. Looking at clean sheets, Lucas Chevalier has the most, but the most goals prevented is Hervé Kofi for Angers with 6, and he actually has the highest save percentage. Right, so those were the top 5 leagues. We're going to briefly touch on some of the other leagues now. So we'll go to Turkey here, where it's as you would expect, a bit of a 2-horse race in the title race, but to be fair, don't rule out Trabzonspor and even Samsunspor, who seemed like they're having a great campaign. But it does look like Fenerbahce, maybe this could be the year they end Galatasaray's dominance. Galatasaray recently lost their last game and drew before that, so Fenerbahce are unbeaten right now. They've won 4 in a row. They're doing fantastic under Dominic Tedesco, who replaced Mourinho at the start of the season. And yeah, it looks like we're going to have a great title race on our hands there. They have the best home record, Gala have the best away record. Fenerbahce are the most informed team in the league, and actually on XG table has them top. Looking at the stats, Eldar Shomurodov is actually cooking for Istanbul Başakşehir with 8 goals, and also Paul Onuachu, who used to play for Southampton there. And Shomurodov and Onuachu have the most GA with 9. Okay, next up we go to Scotland, where again we could potentially be seeing a bit of dominance ended here, as Hearts are actually top of the table here with 30 points. They are unbeaten to start the season. Absolutely sensational. They are doing very, very well. And Celtic and Rangers have had absolutely disastrous seasons. Both teams have sacked their managers. Both teams are doing poor in the Europa League, as we saw earlier, and both teams are doing poor in the Scottish League for their standards as well. So this really could be the year maybe that a team other than Celtic or Rangers wins the league. I mean, Rangers are already 12 points off the top here. Celtic are 7 points away from the Hearts right now. So who knows? Still a long way to go, and you would back maybe with a new manager Celtic to win the league, but it would be a great story here if Hearts could do it. And Hearts have the best home and away record. They are the most informed team, but the XG table does have Celtic top. And Lawrence Shankland for Hearts is the top scorer with 7. Claudio Braga is second with 6. He has an amazing charm, by the way. And he has the most GA, Lawrence Shankland. Okay, over in Portugal then, so we've got a really good title race between Porto and Sporting, and kind of Benfica as well here. The 3-horse race right now. Only Porto and Benfica are actually unbeaten. Sporting have only lost 1 game here. Porto have made a fantastic start to the season. 3 goals conceded, 10 wins from 11 games. The only game they drew was actually against Mourinho's Benfica. But yeah, I mean, these 3 teams are going to go at it. It'll be very interesting to see who comes out on top. Looks like it's going to be a great title race here. And Porto do have our best home and away record, but Sporting assists, has 9 goals. Pedro Gonçalves has 5 assists and the most GA with 13. Okay, over in the Eredivisie in the Netherlands, PSV, as you would expect, they are the best team in the league and they are currently top, 10 wins from 12, won 5 in a row. But Feyenoord seem like they are going to be the biggest contenders to them. They are actually managed by Robin van Persie. They've done pretty well to start this season, although have folded in the last couple of games. They lost to Go Ahead Eagles and they did lose this game here against PSV. But yeah, they're only 3 points away, so looks like those two will go at it because Ajax are absolute mess. They hired Johnny Heitinga in the summer and he has been absolutely abysmal. They've been awful in the Champions League too, and yeah, apparently rumours Ten Hag could be returning, which would be pretty funny. Well, interestingly, Utrecht are the best team at home in the Eredivisie. PSV are the best team away. They have the best form, and Feyenoord actually are top on the XG table. And looking at the stats, wow, this guy IS Uda, I don't know how you say this guy's name, but he has 13 goals already for Feyenoord. Wow, I've never heard of this guy. Is he from a Japanese league or something? Wow, yeah. Fair play, this guy is popping off to start the season. Yeah, he's got the most GA. Also, Ismail Sabari is doing really well though, but he's got 10 GA. Okay, and finally, we're going to wrap up with the Belgian League here, where Union Saint-Gilloise, again, you would sort of expect that they are probably the best team. They are the champions, are still top of the league right now, 10 wins from 14 games, but Club Brugge, these two teams, definitely the best sides in Belgium, look like they'll be going at it again this season. Brugge have been really good, but they did lose against Anderlecht, who maybe could do something this season. But yeah, Union Saint-Gilloise, the best home and away record, though Brugge are the most informed team in the league here. And we look at the stats, Kevin Rodriguez has the most goals here, and Raul Flocorus has the most GA. But there we go, that was sort of a brief rundown of the state of play right now in Europe. Hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, please do leave a like, consider subscribing. I'll see